Okay, so these are the notes that are Melbourne spine notes, starting from Julia Winkle Pleck to Martin Catherine Mochin. Most of these patients are just follow-up refills, so you can go ahead and close them. So if all the codes are being changed to ICD-10 and the notes otherwise look appropriate and they have a level of service 3, just go ahead and sign off on them. I'm going to starting Barbara Boucher because these are my patients from Apex. Looks like she had a left tibial nerve block, and that was for her left knee pain. So this is a code that's kind of hanging out here without any description, so I'll just go ahead and delete it. This one, if I click here, yes, populates. Something about left tibial nerve block in the assessment plan, and it will be billed as other peripheral. Alright, everything looks appropriate. The only difference is that the depimetal here is 20 and the bill was for 40, so we just change it to 40. You see the code here was 40. I mean, we sometimes use 20, sometimes 40, so you could have easily changed the code here to 22. That's also appropriate. These medications are kind of free floating. They go to the other, this one, long-term current use of opiate analgesics. So put these under that. So the first code is the level of service under the first ICD-10 code, and then after that the injection code, which is pain in the left knee, and then the third one is a medication. We are missing modifier 25. Modifier 25 is important because if you don't use it, then the coding algorithm just stops there and then does not go down to look for more codes. Modifier 25 means that there's some other things which are also done. So now it looks good. Move on to the next patient. Linda Welch had bilateral superscapular nerve block, I guess, or bilateral shoulder pain. So make sure that bilateral shoulder pain is in here in the HPI, which it is. In the examination, we have some shoulder findings, which is good. And so here's a problem. Instead of assessment plan talking about bilateral superscapular nerve block, we're talking about the sciatic nerve block for low back pain. So change that. Keep increasing shoulder pain from shoulder arthritis from the bilateral suprascapular nerve block. This will also help improve shoulder mobility and facilitate. So that's that. The level of service is under low back pain, which is good, which is unrelated to the injection code, which is shoulder pain. I would put modifier 25. Bilateral shoulder pain, that code is superscapular. Bill it as other peripheral, which is okay. This code can be used for any nerve block. Superscapular has its own separate code as well, but we are having increasing number of insurances not paying for that code anymore, so it's better to just use this code unless it's Medicare. Alright, once again, this is United that uses modifier 50. If it was Florida Blue, you would put two different codes for right and left. So this is Miss Payne. She only had a follow-up medication refills. I would just populate this. So if you just click here and link click on this clock, click on any previous node, this fills up, which is good. And down here we have mentioned we did PDMP check and all that stuff, so I have a little additional checkbox here which is called PDMP urine tox. Click on that. This free floating medication go under long-term use of chronic opiates. Level of service 3. Perfect. Close it. Next one, James Palmer. Alright, so Mr. Palmer had bilateral sciatic nerve block, was a follow-up visit. Let's see if this... Alright, so we did, we have a description of why we did a sciatic nerve block. So that's an important thing, that you cannot have a nerve block for a diagnosis which is too similar to the diagnosis under which you're putting level of service. So we have to bring that sciatica code, replace that sciatica code with, say, neck pain or cervicalgia. So I just move it first. So now the level of service will come under cervicalgia right here. Okay. Now if you click here and click on first introduction, click statement, this, then it just puts out a little blurb that all modalities were discussed. We spent this much time with the patient, you know, like some basic requirements of how we're billing, and then just unclick this here. So just unclick this here. So now it's gone from there. We did the sciatic nerve block bilateral, which is on the right side. So I'm just going to move this up. So once again, the level of service should be the first diagnosis. So put modifier 25, which should be unrelated to the code for which we're doing an injection. This is the code for which we did the injection. We did the injection once before. Just put any number, 60% improvement. He's at now, so he's right and left, which is good. Okay. That looks good. There is a problem here that the sciatica right side, and we did injection on left and right side. There must be a way where we can actually do bilateral modifier or something, or find a code which is bilateral, but we'll just go ahead and close it for now. Alright, so these are some notes that you would be able to see what I did and how I did it. Make sure that the Melbourne spine notes right here, just sign off on them. I will keep going forward and keep recording videos so you get an idea.